turning up the heat today. I've got a Pulsefire Flamethrower and the Ronin Tactics EPS carry with the Dragon on top for this week's gear grind. Basically, when we bring stuff onto the site, I'm the guy making sure it's going to be quality, affordable, cool, or a mix of all three. We want to sell stuff that excites us, things we'd actually use, not a bunch of crap. This year, we're doing a ton of fun stuff in the warehouse, and I just had a few things that really jumped out at me. Flamethrower, thing with a dragon on it. I can't not share this. As always, we're hitting on the most important 5 Fs when it comes to today's gun gear: fit, feel, form, function, and features. And I'm gonna try and get through it in about 5 minutes. Let's roll. Freedom requires firepower. Let's take that literally with the Exothermic Technologies Pulsefire Flamethrowers. Fit. So, a couple of different models of the Pulsefire. You have the standalone unit here, and you also have an underbarrel version for your AR-15. That underbarrel version uses a large, quick detach mechanism that can easily clamp onto a Picatinny rail. Whether you've got a full quad rail or an adapter on an M-LOK rail, you'll be able to run this. The fuel capacity on these is fairly small, about 1/4 gallon for the underbarrel, slightly more for the standalone unit. But you can expand the capacity for both of these with Exothermic's backpack, which holds 3 gallons for around 4 minutes of continuous flame. You could run straight gasoline in these, or a 50-50 mix of gas and diesel, which Exothermic recommends for burning foliage. Feel. The Pulsefire Flamethrowers both come in at around 6 pounds each. For the standalone, this is really nice. Even pairing with the backpack, this whole assembly feels very comfortable to use. The buttons and switches on this thing are all very satisfying, but you'll note on the whole, it's not built for comfort per se. Because it's built for not setting you on fire, which, is a good facet of ergonomics to cover with a product like this. As far as the underbarrel version, it's going to turn your rifle into a chunk, no getting around it, but it does feel like you're in Act 3 of Aliens, so give and take. Form. As I said with feel, the chief concern here is utility and safety over a super attractive design, but these are still pretty badass in the looks department. The big heat shield on the standalone version not only deflects heat, but also brings that vibe like you just ripped this thing off an emplacement in Halo. And the underbarrel version feels mostly like it's something out of Gears of War. Lots of video game references in this one today. The point is, these designs are guided more by function than form, which again is what you want with a device that contains a lithium battery and also a tank of gas. Function. These are really impressive machines. At their base, a little under 30 seconds of continuous flame, operated with a very safe system to minimize any chance of an internal backfire. Let's jump out of the flames and into the Dragon's Maw, where I have the Holosun EPS carry with a Ronin Tactics twist. Fit. The EPS carry at its baseline is meant for your modern subcompact pistols, 43X, P365, Shield, etc. This sight uses Holosun's proprietary K footprint, but it does include an adapter to make it compatible with RMSC footprint slides. That covers most of the concealed carry, optics-ready pistol market, so you shouldn't have a problem with fit. The EPS carry also uses a 1620 coin cell battery, which is small, but with the shake awake features available to you, you're going to get thousands of hours of battery life out of it regardless. The EPS carry feels really nice. This is a fully enclosed red dot sight, which already inspires a lot of confidence in the durability. This sight is lightweight, made of aluminum, with enough chunk around the lenses to make sure everything is secure inside. You also get a pair of rear sight blades machined into the housing, so even on a pistol that might end up without a rear sight when you mount an optic, the EPS carry gives you an easy backup. The side buttons for brightness are nice and clicky, but as always with these Holosun side mounting battery plates, use the right size driver and be careful, can be liable to strip. Form. I like the EPS carry because it strikes a very nice middle ground between a traditional pistol dot and the mailbox of doom the likes of Aimpoint and Steiner have introduced us to in recent years. This is a straightforward design, meant primarily to ensure the fit of the red dot sight is going to work for as many pistols as possible while completely enclosing the electronics to protect from the elements. I gotta say, I do love the Ronin Tactics logo up top. Dragons are badass, and I will not be convinced otherwise. This sight has a crisp 2 MOA dot that makes it easy to line up precise shots, and a 32 MOA circle to make fast shots to center mass targets extremely simple. As with any Holosun product, you also have that super reliable shake awake feature, which saves your battery without you having to think much or touch anything on the gun. Set your ideal brightness setting, choose the ideal reticle setup, and just forget about it. The glass is very crisp with almost no edge distortion or discoloration, and the reticles are tight, tight, tight. It's a great pick for your concealed carry pistol. Features. Some of you might be saying, hey, that dragon up top is cool and all, but doesn't that mean this sight is less than a baseline EPS carry? Well, you're right, but there's a couple good reasons for that. I personally think the Ronin Tactics version is actually better suited to most concealed carry because its electronics are simpler, and the solar backup isn't something you might be relying on. The counter argument, of course, is that the solar cell helps regulate your brightness settings and saves more battery when you're carrying concealed and moving all day. But when all you have to worry about is changing a super small battery for thousands of hours of performance, wouldn't you rather just set that red dot bright enough to use in any scenario? Also, the Ronin version is a little cheaper, just saying.